Now it's on a medium. It's not killing me. Ah! No, sorry. So I don't want it to go too far because I actually still want to be able to manipulate it. Kind of like I manipulate my wife. Like a hand, no. Now, notice how that's really shiny. You see that? It's really shiny. I don't like that. There are lots of things that we can do to stop it from being so shiny. One thing is to add texture to it. Texture can be added with a couple things. A sponge has texture, but I can't use a latex makeup sponge. So I actually cut these out of mattress foam. This isn't memory foam, it's the cheap kind of foam that you find in the abandoned couch on the street corner. You just squeeze out all the farts first, and then you cut it up into little wedges. And then you use this on people's faces, but don't tell them. So, in order to make this not stick, this is alcohol. No, it's not Fireball. It's just regular, it's 99% alcohol. You can use 90%. So keeping this wet, I can go ahead and press this on here. And I can even manipulate the silicone a little bit with the sponge. Now what the alcohol is doing is creating fumes and it's making me dizzy. And now it's stopping the silicone from sticking to the sponge. You can even clean off your tools with it, like if you're using wooden tools or metal sculpting tools, you just clean them off and wipe them with the silicone. Now the cool thing is, as the silicone will start to set up, it will take on the texture of the sponge and be less shiny. So you have to keep doing this until it sets up. I'm gonna get a little more heat on this. Put it on high. Let me put it on high now, so if I start to scream, you guys will know why. So it's starting to firm up, but it's not quite there, but it's at a stage that I'm gonna show you another way that you can make this completely matte. Would you go ahead and blow dry that? This is my secret ingredient. This is powdered sugar. Childproof. All right, so with this powdered sugar, this is a movie secret you guys are learning right now. I'm gonna powder this wound with powdered sugar. I'm gonna dig that in a little deeper now. So the one way is to tap with a sponge until it sets up. This is another way. The only bad side about this is ants. Okay, so could you blow dry that? Ants. Because if you're doing a lot of makeup the night of your haunt, and you're doing powdered sugar everywhere, and then you're gonna wash it off with water like I'm going to, you'll get ants. In California. Baby powder will not work. Pardon me? Cornstarch might. I haven't tried it yet. Okay, so this is about 90% set up. Okay, which is a great thing. All right, now I want to get rid of that powdered sugar. So this is just water. So now you can see I'm just red from the blow dryer, but it's no longer shiny. Okay, so that took away the shine. Yes, sir. The purpose of the sugar is that the sugar actually was embedded into the surface of the silicone, and then when I washed it away with the water, it left where the sugar was, the little granules, and it actually left a very fine texture. So without having to tap with a sponge, it created the texture for me, so I didn't have to sit there and tap for 5 minutes. Okay? There you go. Good question. And there are different sponges you can use. These black stipple sponges work great for adding texture to it. You dip them in alcohol and you pat. In fact, I could probably still do that. Dip it in alcohol and I can pat and press that right on there. Okay. Now, one of the great things, this is not a bad looking wound, and I can stick my finger in there and get in there. I can put blood paste in there. Are you guys familiar with blood paste? You just squish that right in there and it looks great. There is also this blood here, which is a blood that's for use on silicone. It's got a thickening agent, a thinning agent. You can adjust the colors. And it's really cool stuff. It's the only blood I know that works on silicone itself without beating up. Except for silicone. Can you make a bullet-colored silicone? Yes, you can. Let's do that. Actually, I'm running low on time, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you how you can color this. Okay, these are aqua colors, or water-based makeup. Does anybody have Wolf Brothers, aqua colors, anything like that? Any kind of water-based makeup? Anybody here have it? Yes? No? Anybody? Anybody ever heard of it? Yes. Okay. Aqua color, you can get it. Oh, I should tell you where I buy all my crap, right? I go to a place called Friends Beauty Supply in North Hollywood. It's on Laurel Canyon Boulevard. And they're really cool. They supply me with just about everything I need. You can even buy the silicones there if you want to. There's also another place in North Hollywood called Reynolds Advanced Materials. They sell a lot of smooth-on stuff. They have the pigments and all that stuff, but you can also buy it at Friends. You can buy it at either place, go back and forth, but Reynolds Advanced Materials doesn't have the makeup supplies. Only Friends Beauty Supply does, and they have the silicone, which is why I usually go there and just buy everything. Okay, so this is a water-based makeup, but water and silicone don't work together. But alcohol and silicone do. And alcohol and water-based makeup does. Who would have thought? So I'm just going to take a red. Because I want to make this a little more intense, I'm going to put a little inflammation around it, but I don't want it so thick. So I'm going to actually thin it down like a watercolor. So now it's really thin. I can actually just stipple some redness around this. So it looks like there was more trauma done to the skin. Now I want to deepen this red, so I'm going to add a little black. So this is a mix of black and red. Notice I extended the cut beyond where it actually stopped and started. That helps to hide lines. And there you go, easy, simple cut. Looks good. It's gonna bend and flex with me. I can stick my fingers in with it, mess with it. I can stitch it up. Now, I'm gonna tell you something that blew my mind the first time I ever did this. And this was the saving grace of using this material. Not only did I not have to sculpt and mold and cast an appliance, I was able to build it up right on my own skin. You do it on somebody's face. And it stayed all day. It was fine. But I didn't need any remover to take it off. But that's not what blew my mind. It's not completely set up yet, actually. I should wait. But I'll show you what blew my mind was when it was totally set up and I had to peel it off at the end of the night, I had an appliance. And I had to stick it on that actor the next day. And I was able to just mix up a tiny bit of silicone, use that as a glue, and use the same damn piece that I made the day before, and I got to sleep for 45 extra minutes. It was a wonderful thing, all right? And I'm gonna show you about that right now. And that movie, by the way, was called The Collector. And Josh Stewart was in it. He was in the new Punisher series. He was a bad guy. And he had this big gash on his forehead. So if you see The Collector and you look at that, realize that that was one of the first ways that I used the silicone, peeled it off, and stuck it back on him day after day. So I made this last night, okay? It's silicone. It's got a little bit of a softening agent in it, which you can get too. And that is called, you ready? Deadener. Deadener. D-E-A-D-E-N-E-R. Don't know why they call it that, but it softens the silicone. That's the brand that I use. There's another brand called Slacker. I don't know why, but it softens it. You can actually turn it into a gel, but that's not good for our purposes. But you can use 1 part A, 1 part softening agent, 1 part B, and you'll end up with a soft kind of malleable thing. Now, one of the cool things about this, I'm going to show you guys right now. Look at that. That was amazing. That's what I peeled off Josh's forehead, basically. And I was like, wow! And then I just stuck it back on the next day. This is a plastic head form. You can get these, they're usually like white masks that you can find in Halloween shops. You could use a mannequin head. You could use a bowl, a plastic bowl. Anything that has some curve to it. You could use a bottle, anything like that, so it's got some shape to it. Actually, sir, can I have you stand up? I'm just going to test fit this on you.
Okay, would you like me to come up there too?
I would like you to come up.
All right. I just want to make sure I want you to stand.
And I'm going to have you look out at the audience.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to have you put your glasses up on your head. All right. So you can see now, that's going to fit exactly where I had put it. Now he's going to let me actually stick this on him, which is wonderful of him. Now, there's something I didn't like about this piece. I want the cut to actually go further than it did when I made it. I'm just looking at it. I think it'd be more interesting if it went straight into his nose. I'm not married to this. Now, the way I did this last night, I'm going to explain it to you. You're married to him. Well, that's not my fault. Is I did the flesh part first, and then I mixed up a blood-colored silicone I actually used the Silpig blood pigment, mix it up and put that inside. I'm just going to cut this. And I'm going to cut out the part I don't want. Right there. So now the cut goes all the way through. Go ahead, face forward. So now my cut will continue on to the nose, but it doesn't have to go there. This can go on the jaw, it can go on the neck, we can even put it on his forehead. We can put it anywhere we wanted to. But because his cheek is right here, that's where I'm going to put it. Now I can use the same silicone I was using and have no problem, but now I'm just going to use another one just because. You know why I'm going to use it because? I'll tell you what, I got it for free. Yeah, no, actually Reynolds, along with HauntX was one of the big sponsors of this. They asked me to come and do it. Because I'm a member of HauntX, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. So that was that. So then I called Reynolds and I was like, hey, do you guys have any stuff I can have for free? And they're like, what do you want? And I said, well, I'm not gonna be greedy. How about some skin tight and some blood stuff? They're like, yeah, sure. So I went and picked that up this morning. So it's the same thing. You can use this silicone just like the other silicone. It's an A and a B, and this one is blue. So it's B for blue. Now I'm gonna squirt just a little bit in there. And the A is yellow. And I'm gonna squirt this right in there on top of that. And I want about the same amount. Now this is a little bit thinner than the other stuff. So I could add a little bit of my thickening agent. Which I'm going to. Now let me be honest, this thickening agent is not the same brand as this silicone. But I'm not worried about that. It's gonna work. I hope. Let's throw a little pigment in there. And I'm even gonna throw in a drop of that fast callus, why not? Two. By accident. But I'm not worried about that. You should be worried. Now I am going to press firmly on his cheek, and I'm going to let him know that I'm going to press firmly. Okay, you can open your eye. Now I'm just going to take this piece and set it right into that silicone. And while I'm here, I'm going to let you guys know that I am also a representative of Amway. And if you guys are, no. Amway's really big in China right now. So I'm seeing some areas I might have missed. Me a favor, sir, and look up into the sky. Now I'm just using the leftover that I had in this cup. Now I want to blend this in a little bit better, so I'm actually going to make another batch. Remember, I don't have to do this all at once.